Okay, thanks for that introduction. So today I'll be talking about when we talk about customer experience, right? There are two main things which make this customer experience possible. The first thing is obviously the most important, which is the people that are behind providing this customer experience. And then to help those people, we have this technology. So that is very important that we need to remember, that it's the people that comes first. Technology, we build products just to help the people deliver the customer experience. It shouldn't be that the technology drives the people. So once we are clear on that, then we look at these things. So what I'll try to do is I'll just walk you through quickly, in the interest of time, the different innovations that have happened in the contact center space and the innovations that will happen in the future from our eyesight of what we have been looking at. So a little bit of history, all of you know about this. 1960s we started, first contact centers emerged, call centers emerged, then the 1970s, 1980s, the term is recognized. Then 1990s, it was all about the outsourced model, and now it's all about the cloud. So we have come a long way. If you look at it in 1960, oh my God, it's like 62 years. And it's a very old technology. That's why contact centers, call centers are not sexy, right, anymore. I think that's why we have come up with the term CX now, because contact centers are not sexy anymore. We'll just call them CX, right? So first it was call centers, then it became contact centers, and now customer experience. What are these contact centers? These are the centers that provide the customer experience. But the term that we use nowadays is customer experience, which encapsulates a lot of things and makes things happen. So this has been the history. Just to give an idea, the innovation timeline, if you look at it, right, what started this whole process is the telephone, the humble telephone, which started this communication going. People were talking one-to-one each other, but what if I want to talk to somebody else, somewhere else? The telephone changed all that. We are all indebted to the telephone that was invented. Once the telephone came, if you look at it, right, the reason I put this timeline is these are all incremental growths. First we got the telephone, then we got a bunch of telephones to take, and how do you transfer these calls among a bunch of telephones? We use the private branch exchanges. There was a person, switchboard operator, you remember the old movies, right? You take this and you put this here and there and all that. That was done. Then incrementally, ACD came, automatic call distribution. So the person was removed. Go away. There's an ACD software which will automatically route the calls for you. Again, incremental. But people were still not calling. So what did businesses come up with? Toll-free numbers. Hey, you don't pay, I'll pay. Just call me. No, I want you to call me. Great. People started calling. It was a huge innovation. Just think about it, right? Just a toll-free number is an innovation. Just as somebody thought that, how do I make people call me? And that's led to toll-free numbers. And then obviously VoIP, once the internet took over, people started thinking, how do I make this phone call onto the internet? Why be on the telephony lines? That changed the paradigm again, because once it's in the internet, it's data. And once it's data, you can do magic. And that's how the VoIP, and then obviously the queuing, once toll-free numbers came, people started calling in huge numbers. Now they were short of agents now. Now what do I do? Obviously I have to put queuing in place. So then once queuing came in, and even queues were not sufficient, people were waiting in the queue, they were scolding each other and all those kinds of things. Then what do? Okay, I put an IVR. Let the machine answer the question for you, at least if it can. So if you look at it, right, it's all incremental. Everything went step by step by step, and here, now we want to do speech enabled, and then press 1, press 2. I am on the phone, press 1, okay, take it, press 1. Then again I'm on the phone, then take it. Rather than if I can just say, hey, at least if I can say sales, support, connect me to sales. Speech enabled, that's where we are. In fact, we are not there yet, right? A lot more IVRs are still running on the press 1, press 2. Though the technology exists, to be frank. I'll come to that why we have not yet enabled. And now cloud and then omni-channel. Now it's not just the phone anymore. So this is that innovation timeline. Let's all keep this in mind. What has changed? Biggest thing that has changed is that phone is not the only channel. If you pick up your phone, mobile phone, we shouldn't even call it a mobile phone. It's actually a mobile computer. Phone is an app that's there. Everybody, we are carrying computers in our pockets, and then we have phone as an app. And that's the mindset change that should happen. If you think of it as a phone, you think people will just call. It's not. It's a computer. So what can you do with a computer? We have to come up with a first principles approach. We shouldn't do incremental anymore. Now everything has changed. Now every single person here is connected. We have a computer in our thing, and a computer in everyone's hand, and you're all connected. I can reach out to you in so many different channels that's available. So what can change? Should I just still use the ACDs? Should I still use the IVRs? What can I do? Can I completely rework it? Can I scratch off everything and start from scratch? What are the things that we can do? That opens up our limitless possibilities that we can think about. The customer is always connected, 24/7. He's on the phone. I mean, he's on the internet. He's connected. So what can you do? As somebody pointed out in the previous question, don't bombard him just because he's connected, but you can do much more because he's connected. So let's think about that. Bandwidth is also not an issue. I mean, back in 2010 or 2000s, bandwidth was an issue. I mean, 64 kbps, 128 kbps. I come from a time when we used to have these dial-ups and you have the sound, right? So that's not there anymore. Everybody has 4G in the rural areas. So what can you do? That's what we need to think about. If I imagine that bandwidth is not an issue, what can I give? What kind of content can I give to the customers to make their experience better? So that's what we need to think about. New channels can be added with ease. I mean, today it's WhatsApp. 10 years back, there was no WhatsApp. Facebook was not there 10 years back. Now, I don't know, tomorrow something will come. TikTok, it got banned. But what if TikTok was there and they want to reach out over TikTok? How do you adapt? Is it easy for you to adapt? These are the things that you need to do. Tomorrow, maybe some new startup now, young kid will come up with a new social media. And you all know, right, it's viral. I mean, within like a month or 2 months, all your customers will be using it. So then how do you adapt? So these are the things that you need to think about. And the biggest thing I would say is the availability of customer data, and because of the availability of the customer data, everything being on the cloud, and because of that availability of customer data, AI is now usable. Okay, so what I'll do now is try to walk you through what are the different stakeholders, right, in making this customer experience possible. We have the agents, we have the supervisors, and then we have the actual customers. So let's walk you through the different innovations that each of these stakeholders are going through. First thing that has happened with the agents is that work from anywhere. The pandemic has changed everything. I mean, when the pandemic came, nobody was ready. The lockdown happened, but within a month, the lockdown was lifted for essential services. But those essential services need support. And that means the contact centers had to run. And if you look at it, right, the cloud, we launched our product back in 2010. It was on the cloud. It was a cloud contact center that's available. It's on the cloud. But still, the contact centers were not on the cloud in the sense people used to come and sit in one row. They used to take our software. We used to tell them, hey, your agents can sit anywhere. No, I have to monitor them. They have to be there in one line. Okay, take my software. You put your agents wherever you want. I don't care. But again, you go, it's the stuffy contact center space. Because of real estate and all that, you put them all in one place and then you run them. Why? It was not needed. We have been telling for 10 years. Pandemic just said, no, you have to go out. Then everybody started going out. And the good thing was the software was ready. People could just pick calls and start answering calls. So that agent innovation, work from anywhere. But what does this mean? Why work from anywhere? This actually means that there's a shift in the agent shift. If you look at it, right? Just think about it. Why should an agent log in at 9 and log off at 5? What if an agent can say, like a Calendly link, let's say I am free from 9 to 10, and then I am free from 12 to 4, then I am free from 6 to 8. It's all routing. It's on the cloud. It's absolutely possible. So micro shifts are going to become big. They're not yet caught on. Some companies have started doing it, and these are the companies which will attract the best agent talent. Because they are giving the freedom of shift to an agent. They're logging into the same software. It's just a routing software with a talent link that can happen. So micro shifts will happen. Gamification, a lot of people have tried. It will improve a lot more. Obviously, this is all for helping agents have fun with themselves. I don't know why I'm looking around. There's here. Good. Okay. Then we have AI-driven contextual help. Now, the biggest thing, when people talk about empathy, right, the whole feature about the last panel was about empathy. You ask an agent to be empathetic, but this guy or girl, right, the whole day she's picking up a call, and sir, kaam nahi karta. Okay, I'll help you. First 1 hour she'll be empathetic. The second hour she'll be like, abbe yaar kaam karega yaar, chhod do. Or restart. Do something. Where will empathy come from? It's a human. It's not a bot. You are a human, you have feelings, and the whole day you are listening to the same complaint again and again, how can you be empathetic? It's just not possible. That's where AI can help. If it's the same problem, let the AI handle. Let the AI handle and give the right contextual help to an agent. Let the agent choose. Right now what is happening is the system automatically chooses whether it's an agent or a bot. Let the agent choose. If the question is right, transfer to a bot. Move on to the next thing. Let the agent handle the real problems. I think that's going to come up a lot more. AI filtering, spam chats and tweets. This is another big thing. I mean, you go to Twitter, you add a social media channel. What's the first thing that's going to happen? They're going to get bombarded with spam, your agents. They'll just mark as disposition, spam, 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 spam. That's the first thing that they'll be doing. Huge headache. So much wastage of time. Let the AI do that. That's going to happen. That's already there. These are all the things that I'm talking about. These are already there. I don't want to put a brand or anything. Different companies are doing it. All of them are providing these services. It's about how you integrate. So these are already there. A single omni-channel toolbar. This is another big thing. Now, nobody is talking about call center anymore. The calls are still the biggest cost center as well as most calls happen. But still, their omni-channel is going to become big, as you know. And agents need not retrain, basically, for every new channel that comes up. They learn one toolbar. They're OK with it. They pick up any call or any conversation. That's going to happen. And the agent virtual assistant. Now, we all talk about Alexas, right? I mean, you have an Alexa or a Google Home and you say, Alexa, can you help me with this? I am predicting that in the next couple of years, we're going to have Alexa for agents. So you're on the call, you finish your call, the agent can just say, hey, Alexa, mark this as this. Done. Move on to the next call. So there will be agent-specific virtual assistants, not just for the customers. So we'll have virtual assistants for agents too. Okay, this is just some examples that we have. Whatever I was talking about, the omni-channel toolbar. We'll have automatic sentiment monitoring, some smart replies that are available. So like when a thing comes up, the agent can automatically click on a smart reply, make the agent job easier. As I said, the innovations are already there. It's about us how to deploy them and when to deploy them to do this. Supervisor-facing innovations, again, supervisors have a different problem. They have these humongous amounts of calls happening and so many agents sitting, and now the bigger problem, the agents are sitting at home. Are they really working? This is the biggest question they have. Do you trust your agents enough, or do you monitor them? You don't trust them, or do you monitor them? That's a different philosophical question. I leave it to you. But whoever supervisor I've spoken to, they say, I want to monitor. I don't trust my agents. So I don't know why that is, but that's OK. If you want to monitor, what do you do? It is humanly impossible for you to monitor 10,000 calls or 20,000 calls. You can't listen. Calls have a problem. Text has a different problem. Text you can scan. This whole thing you can scan. But the speech, if you listen, you have to listen to the whole thing. Maybe at 2x speed you'll do. Like YouTube, you'll do at 2x fast. But 3x, you can't understand. 4x, out of question. So that means the maximum you can do is cut down your monitoring time by half if you have to listen to every call. So what do? You sample. Is it happy? No. So this is where, again, AI will come in. You have to do transcription, but right now the problem is it's costly. So it's a call you need to take. Do I apply this AI and make my job easier for a supervisor? Or is a supervisor cheap enough that I'll pay 4 more supervisors and let them do it? So that's the call we need to take. But the technology is there. We'll have real-time ASR tracking, sentiment analysis, transcriptions. All of these are there. Automated auditing. Everything is available. These are much better than human. In the sense that simply, because this can do 100%. A human can do 10% of sampling. So you need to go through this. Now, obviously, screen recordings also become big. Another as a pointer, because, again, agents are working from home. You don't have access to the screen. Otherwise, the supervisor is in the floor, walks through, watches the screen. He or she can't do that anymore if it's work from home. So you would need screen recordings, barge into screen recordings. These are all available, again. So some examples of speech dashboard. I mean, different people have different ways of doing it. But obviously, you need to know per call analytics and all that. Just a simple example I put up there. Customer-facing innovation. I think this is where most of the fun is, if you look at it, right? What can the customers do? What can we as technologists provide to the customers? We talk about customer experience, right? But then you take a website. Website design exists, but people don't spend enough time on customer experience of the website. They talk about logos, they can talk about colors. And website is the most visited site for your particular customers. What is the experience you are giving to the customer on the website? That's something that you need to think about. We are all thinking about contact centers, what experience we are providing in the contact center. But website, we are forgetting altogether. You can provide an experience on the website too, the biggest real estate any business has. And then you have the contact center. In the contact center side, what can you do? Obviously, you can have automated self-service is the best. That's the holy grail. Nobody wants to talk to another human, unless maybe they want to shout. I mean, really bad, and a bot comes, I'm like, no, connect me, I want to shout on a human being. Then I'll feel satisfied. Okay, I've done my job. Whether the problem is solved or not, I don't care, but I need to shout. It's more, what do you call it, psychological. But yeah, we need to let out steam. That's fine. So that's one automated self-service. If you can achieve, great. Simultaneous multi-channel conversations. This is another big thing. One big problem is I think the internet is a problem here. I'll just try to show you a small thing. But we all go through this scenario, right? I mean, you are on the call, and then you say, share your a ticket number or something. You say something like AB54. Is it B for Bombay or P for something or whatever, right? You go through all this problem. Rather than that, if I'm on the call and if I can able to just text the number out. So simultaneously, why should I be only on one? It's all data. Right now, it's all data. The voice is data, the text is data. Why should I, if a call comes, there are call agents and there are text agents. It doesn't make any sense. It's omni-channel. The customer is there on the call, he should be able to type, he should be able to share an image, and then again continue with the call. So simultaneous multi-channel conversations is going to be the thing. Again, technology exists. And intelligent voice and chatbots. This, again, we experience, this is possible from a technical perspective, but people don't spend time on this. Again, for when you want to design an experience, I have not seen any, I work with a lot of, almost 2,000 customers we have in India. None of them have come to us and said that, is my bot designed proper? Because nobody designs a bot. They say that, hey, press 1, press 2, connect to agent here, I'm done. If that's the scenario, then yes, that's the easiest way. But you can actually sit down, you actually have to measure the prompt. Is it taking the right amount of time? That particular prompt, the text prompt, is the prompt empathetic? Is it a automated prompt or is it a human prompt? You need to do that. Why shouldn't the prompt be empathetic? Why shouldn't you hire an empathetic voice to talk to you? So these are the things that we need to think about. Design is important. Technology exists. Intelligent voice and chatbots. And obviously the bigger thing, I always believe that it'll help if you bring a prop along for a speech. So the prop that will happen that I'm going to show you is this. Metaverse that we talked about. It's not here yet, but just to give an example, 1 year back, this had a big wire attached. The Oculus One had a big wire attached. And if I had to do VR, I have to connect somewhere here, plug it on, and then go only up to here. Now this is wireless, completely wireless. Even this, right, if I do this, right, I'm an idiot. I don't look good. Nobody wants to look like that. So this is not going to pick up maybe for 2-3 more years. But if I can do this, if this had that VR inside, then it's possible, and it will happen. Just look at what has happened in 1 year. In 5 more years, we're going to have this. And then you need to be on the metaverse. What does that mean? You should have virtual avatars, you should have your own stuff, you should have your voice. A lot of things are going to come in. And this is where the innovations are going to happen for the customers. So metaverse, virtual avatars. Trusted calls, this is another big thing which has picked up. Google has provided it, verified calls. Right. One of the problems that the person asked about bombarding, if it's a trusted call, it provides. And Google now actually has a feature where you can say screen call. You can actually screen the call by yourself. So these are customer-facing innovations which are happening. When a call comes to me, now generally if it's an unknown number, I press on screen call. Let the person answer me, I look at the text, and then I pick the call. So that's going to come up, customer-facing innovations. I don't think I'll do the demo. I'm running out of time. This is just an example that we had. We have a stall, by the way. You can come and we can just talk and have fun. Yeah, the future is bright. That's pretty much it. Okay, so this is the live demo. And I think I am 1 minute left. I am pretty much done. If you have any questions, I would love to take the questions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.